Hey friends, welcome and good afternoon, which I don't often get to say to you, but I am saying it twice in a row. 2 successive days. Afternoon streams here coming at you live from Studio 5, just outside of Ocean City, Maryland. And we got another really special one for you today. Kenny Monster's checking in. JJ already stopped by. Bed Dave is here as well. Guys, go ahead and pile it on. We are heading down to Oshkosh, bagosh. It is another one of those really fun streams that we call VATVenture, the VATSIM version of the EAA AirVenture, the massive fly-in that happens every year in the middle of the summer to Oshkosh. So we've got some special procedures that we've got in place for the real one, and we've got almost identical one here in place for the VATSIM version. Start by showing you that we do have some decent amount of general aviation traffic already on the way in. We're starting from up here, the extreme northern end of the upper peninsula of Michigan. We'll fly over the Yoopers, as they call themselves. We've got a flight of 3 starships on the way in. I love that. I love that it has its own custom icon. Oh, actually, they're flying into Green Bay, are they? Yeah, so their flight is flying into Green Bay. I wonder if they're then continuing on to the Oshkosh line. Not sure. A good amount of general aviation traffic already starting to kind of form up around in the area here. Some more coming in from the south and west. A couple coming in from the north and west. One coming in from the north. Yeah, so we see it's another starship. So yeah, we can see that there's more GA traffic than you normally see in this area. Kind of flitting around today, and I'm sure that there will be more starting to make their way in as the event has officially started only 8 minutes ago. Let's take a look at it on the VATUSA Events Calendar, by the way. Go to VATUSA.net, down here under Pilot Tools, Events Calendar, and we'll look at the one for today. Got 2 events going on today, one in Buffalo, and this one here, VATVenture 2025. Yeah, and there's a photo of the real world Oshkosh fly-in. Massive fly-in and trade show and air show, and just a huge event, week-long event, if I understand it correctly. Never been in the real world, only in VATSIM. Yeah, here's the announcement, and there is a Google Doc NOTAM and pilot guide that they say reading this NOTAM prior to taking part in the event is required. And it is because this is not just your general, regular old VFR trip. This in order to accommodate this massive influx of traffic, they use some pretty specialized procedures just for this event in the real world. And again, they replicate it to the best of their ability on VATSIM. So let's take you real quick through the document here. I'm going to kind of speed through it, but I'm going to hit the highlights. All right. And it is a good number of pages, but it's important that you kind of familiarize yourself with it. First of all, scenery, okay? They're going to have us land on runways in specific locations. So they'll clear multiple aircraft to land, and they'll say, the first one they'll say land on the yellow dot. The second one they'll say land on the purple dot. And it kind of makes you land, a third of the way up the runway or half the way up the runway. So that they can accommodate closer spacing for VFR arrivals than they would otherwise. So you have to have scenery that's got the dots on it, first of all. There's a flightsim.to file that just adds the dots. However, what we have is a scenery package by our very good friend Tabletop Android. And he has put together kind of a virtual version of the event with all these static aircraft parked, and the parking, they turn basically every grass area into aircraft parking. So he's got the updated taxiway signs, he's got the dots, he's got tarmac marshalers around, so you can really get a decent flavor of the event. You have to have this aircraft library installed as well. That's really the only dependency. But yeah, so we should have a pretty robust looking, active looking event when we get down there. So you do have to have scenery that has at least the dots. And they've got recommendations here for FSX or P3D if you're still using that, or X-Plane, or VATSIM 2020, and presumably 2024. So you do want to make sure that you do that. This is a very, very important notice. Multiple frequencies can be utilized by one controller, but when they do that, they only show up in your pilot client as their primary. So, you might be told to switch to a frequency that is listed in this document, and you look on this list and you're like, what do you mean that frequency is not online? What are they doing? They're giving me a frequency that's not active. Well, that frequency may very well be active because it's covered by somebody else that is on that list on a different frequency. Okay? They don't normally do this on VATSIM. Normally, they don't have, if you have a controller that's working Washington Center and then he's also doing Potomac Approach, you don't get switched from the center frequency to the approach frequency just to talk to the same guy. Pilot Edge, they do this. VATSIM, they typically don't. This is going to be one of the exceptions, and the reason for that exception is this document has specific frequencies for specific parts of the operation, and all those frequencies need to be active so that the frequencies in this document are correct, whether they have separate controllers on those or whether they have one person doing multiple roles. So all of the frequencies will be active whether they're in your pilot client list or not. So rely on what you're told, not on what you see listed in your pilot client. Okay? VFR flight plan. File a VFR flight plan with aircraft type and color in the remarks section so the controllers can properly identify your aircraft and make sure you're squawking mode Charlie. So ordinarily, in the U.S., ever since the newest radar client came out, CRC, Consolidated Radar Client, it is the case in the U.S. that when you file a VFR flight plan, that VFR flight plan does not go into the ATC system the same way that an IFR flight plan does, and that is realistically simulated. So even if you have a VFR flight plan on file, the controllers, when you call up for VFR flight following or what have you, you're still going to have to give them that information verbally because that's how it works in the real world. However, the remarks do come through. Okay, so if you have a remark in your filed flight plan that says, "Hey, I'm brand new," or it has a Twitch live stream link like mine does, those remarks do come through. So what they're asking you to do is to file a flight plan with the remark that says what color you are. Remember, on VATSIM, other people are seeing a representation of you, but it may not look exactly like you look to yourself. So obviously, we've got the Virtual USA Flying Club livery on this Piper Comanche. When anybody who doesn't have this livery installed, they're not going to see me as this, and who knows what color they're going to see me as. So in order for the controllers to work this procedure visually, the way they do it, they identify you in the sky. They look, okay, I see a red, white, and blue low wing. Rock your wings for me, and you wave your wings back and forth. All right, great rock. Red, white, and blue low ring. You're going to take Fisk Avenue to the east and prepare for left base into 1-8 and change the frequency tower frequency on such and such. And you don't answer back. You just do what they tell you to do. The wing rock is the acknowledgement. So it's a really interesting kind of procedure. We're going to get into that more in later detail here as I go through this document. But in order for them to be able to identify you as the color that you say you are, they can't see what color you are. So you have to put that in your flight plan. So what we've done here, I've filed it here on the network already. Call sign VFR, we're a Piper. All the details. You don't have to put anything in the route. I'll show you what I've plotted, but you don't have to put anything in the route specific to exactly, what waypoints you're going to use or what have you. But I have identified myself here as a red, white, and blue low wing. Ordinarily, you put just, one or two colors in there, just your primary color or your primary color and your trim color. But for us, because all three of these colors are kind of predominant in the livery, I went ahead and put them all in there. But normally, green low wing or green and white low wing is fine. Something like that. Anyway, back to what we were doing. We were talking about the document. Okay. So, VFR Flight Planning Guide. This is just some information on how to transition over certain areas without interfering with IFR operations there. They give you some recommended throughways, corridors, paths to use around these Charlies and Bravos. So not too much that you need to know there. We'll look at what I plotted here in just a little bit. Now the Fisk arrival. This is the procedure that we all end up kind of following. Take extra fuel. The way this basically works is, in normal operations, they have everybody congregate around Green Lake and then pair off with a half-mile spacing to head up to Ripon and then pass Ripon up to Fisk. If it gets too crowded at Green Lake, the ATIS information, oh, by the way, they will tell you, tune to the arrival ATIS 125.9 or no later than 60 miles out from the airport. So we'll figure out where that is, and we'll do that at the proper time. The ATIS is going to tell you, we're using Green Lake transition. Okay. Everybody gathers up at Green Lake. Find somebody to fall in single file behind, at least a half a mile behind, and then make your way up to Ripon behind them. If it starts to get too crowded at Green Lake, the ATIS is then going to say, okay, we're using the Puckaway Lake transition, so then you kind of mass up here, and then they'll start clearing aircraft to leave here, and then everybody here will move up to Green Lake and so forth. If that gets really backed up, they'll back you up here to Endeavor Bridge and kind of have you start, and then leapfrog your way up, and eventually to where you get to Green Lake, and then you make your way on up to Ripon and Fisk. So the ATIS will tell us which transition to use. I'll show you the route that I've plotted. Just in case we can't go directly to Green Lake, I've got a route that's going to put us down Interstate 39 from the north and start us at Endeavor Bridge. And then, we'll fly these transitions anyway, but depending on what the ATIS says is which one we may have to hold at before we proceed. But if there's no holding, if they're doing Green Lake as the starting transition, then we'll just fly over Endeavor and Puckaway, and then we'll just head up to Green Lake on our own without having to wait. So we'll fly the route the same regardless, but the ATIS will tell us where we may need to hold. All right, so we'll listen to the ATIS. They'll tell us which one of these we need to start from, and then we'll switch over to Fisk approach. Okay, and this is just everything I just said. Once you are paired off with somebody, you head up toward Ripon. You continue past Ripon toward the town of Fisk, and you see this little town of Pickett, and then you see Fisk, and you're following these railroad tracks. You're not following the highway, you're following the railroad tracks. Once you are approaching Fisk, basically between Pickett and Fisk, they will identify you. They will give you a call on 120.7, and you don't have to call anybody. You don't have to say a word. All right? But they'll give you a call on 120.7. They'll identify you. They'll get you to acknowledge by waggling your wings back and forth, and then they'll either tell you to continue up the railroad tracks to the north side of the airport, or they'll tell you to take Fisk Avenue eastbound and follow that toward the south side of the airport. And then from there, depending on what runways they're landing, you either make a tight downwind and base, or a left base to the northbound runways, or a tight downwind and base to the southbound runways, and so forth. So, but yeah, the decision point is here at Fisk, and basically they alternate, right? So they take this half-mile spacing, they divide it up in halves, and so you get 1 mile spacing coming up the railroad tracks, and 1 mile spacing out east on Fisk Avenue. So here's a reiteration of please file that VFR flight plan, which we've done. No verbal responses are required. Again, you just acknowledge by doing a little aileron semi-roll, if you will. Follow the railroad tracks northeast, or reaching Fisk, turn right, follow the east-west road, which is Fisk Avenue. Okay, there's a picture of what it looks like. Waiver has been issued, reducing arrival and departure separation standards. Yep, we know this. We'll talk about the dots in just a moment. Arrivals and departures are on separate frequencies, so do note that there may be other traffic around you that you are not hearing on the radio because they're on a different frequency. Okay, this is the holding. If we do end up holding at any of these Locations, if you have to hold at Fisk, you turn around Rush Lake. If you have to hold at Green Lake, you just basically do a rectangle pattern around the lake itself. And then here's what I'm talking about. If you're on the railroad track arrival and you're going eastbound to runway 9, then you either land on the numbers or you land on the white dot. I don't think they give you green dot or orange dot if you're eastbound, just because it's only 4,400 from the white dot. If they have you on 27, then it's a tight right base. You stay well inside of the gravel pit. It's a tight right base, or tight right downwind rather, and then a short base, and then they can have you land on the numbers or the orange dot or the green dot going westbound on 27. If they have you on the 1/8, they're going to have you pass and make a tight left downwind, no later than the shoreline, and they will put you on. They'll have you aim toward the blue dot and then turn and land on the pink dot. That's if you're southbound. And they've got squares on the 3-6 right. This taxiway becomes 3-6 right, 18 left. Normally it's just a taxiway, but for this event it's a parallel runway. And then if they have you going northbound, then you make this left base and then you just land on either the numbers, or the purple dot, or the yellow dot. And the pink and blue they don't use if you're northbound. So that's why you have to have the scenery that's got the dots and the squares for all the runways. This is another important note. Taxiing is at pilot's own risk. There is not any ground control. Okay, when you land, it is your responsibility to taxi off and follow these instructions to parking. So you just follow these. You don't talk to anybody. You literally. It is all considered non-movement. Even the taxiways are all considered non-movement for this. And it said that somewhere, but I missed where it said. Okay, here we are. All movement other than on paved runways is at pilot's own risk. Use extra caution operating in non-movement areas. Be alert for taxiing aircraft. Okay, so they don't handle any ground movement. The only thing is, if you're IFR taxiing, if the airport goes IFR, taxiing is prohibited except for when you have an IFR clearance. Now we'll talk about that in just a moment as well. Got some other folks to stop in to say hi to. Iowa Scotsman is here. 26.2 is here, so welcome to you guys as well. So these are your taxi instructions. Now VFR departures. Okay, we are not going to be doing today. We're just going to do an arrival only. So we won't need any of this, and then IFR departure we won't need, obviously. If then last year we did that air show that we did yesterday, we had done that in June, and then we did fly the Corsair from, I think we flew it from Galesburg, and then we came in via the turbine and Warbird arrival. A little bit different, kind of comes in from the south and east up the shore of Lake Michigan. So is it Lake Michigan? Did I just get that right? No, it's I'm sorry, it's Lake Winnebago. Lake Michigan's a little further east. So yeah, the Warbird arrival kind of comes in from the south there, a little bit different than the Fisk arrival. So we did that last year, and it was fun. A little bit of a different look, but we won't need that today. Yeah, here we go, up the shore of Lake Winnebago. Helicopter, VFR arrival and departure, yep, different, but we won't need that. If you're landing at Fond du Lac instead of Oshkosh, then there's some information here. If you're landing at Appleton instead of Oshkosh, there's some information here. And if you're IFR, some information here. If you're IFR, if you're going to depart VFR and then pick up IFR, some information here. That is it. So I think I covered the key points that we need for today, and I'm going to keep this open, particularly for the taxi instructions, so that once we know which runway we're going to be landing on, we can kind of have the taxi instructions ready to refer to quickly. But I think I covered the main ones. So VFR flight plan, right? Include your aircraft color and type, red, white, and blue low wing in our case. Note that frequencies may be in use that you don't see in your pilot client. So if you're told to switch to something and you don't see it in this list, switch to that anyway. It's probably correct, even if you don't see it here. And then the ground movement is all non-movement area. There's no ground controllers. And you don't have to acknowledge over the radio to any of these things. You listen to the ATIS on the way in, and then you monitor the approach frequency. You wait for them to identify you by your color and type, and you basically just do what they say without having to respond over the radio. All right, so I think that covers it. Let's go ahead and get the aircraft up and running and get going, shall we? Oh, the one other thing I wanted to talk about. So here's what I plotted. Again, we're coming in from the north, but because we are, going to come in from Endeavor Bridge, Puckaway Lake, and then come up from the south and west, like the arrival procedure dictates, we are going to come in. We're starting from here, Houghton, I guess is how they say it, Houghton County. Not sure. South and west. We'll get to the southern tip of this lake here. KGBG. I have no idea if I'm even pronouncing that even close to correctly. Then we'll follow this path down here. We'll be looking for this kind of distinctly shaped lake in this Tomahawk Regional. We do have a VOR that we can use, Rhinelander. I think we departed from Rhinelander one year and did this trip. So we have this VOR here that we can use as a cross-reference if we're not sure which of these bodies of water we're over top of. I mean, I could see us getting over this one thinking that we're over this one, so we'll have to be careful there. But once we get to this one, we're basically just going to follow the Wisconsin River all the way down. And once we get to here, the Wisconsin River takes a nice sharp right-hand turn. But at this point, we're following this U.S. highway. I think I said interstate. It's a U.S. Highway 39. It looks like, or is that an interstate? Yeah, that's the U.S. highway. U.S. Highway 39 that will follow down to Endeavor Bridge, and then we'll turn east and hit Puckaway, Green Lake, and then on in. It wants us to start monitoring the approach, the ATIS, no later than 60 miles from the airport. I'm going to guess that that's right around here, Stevens Point. If I threw a temporary waypoint here, 54 miles. Okay, so really, this is 70 miles here when we're at Central Wisconsin Airport, CWA. Take this point and delete it. Nope. Delete. So when we're up at CWA, this is where we want to start tuning in the ATIS information and listen to which transition we're going to need to head toward from there. Now, the other notable thing is look at all these blue dots, okay? On SkyVector, anything that's in VMC, visual conditions, is green. This is all green over here. If it's hard IFR, it's red here. And blue and purple are kind of marginal conditions. Well, look at all these blue dots here. So what's going on? It's there's no precipitation. All the precipitation is kind of further south here. Got a pretty good line of thunderstorms, kind of St. Louis area and on south. But you'll notice we've got all these blue dots here. Well, let's hover over them and see what's going on. Rhinelander, 5 statute miles and haze. Few clouds at 4,600. 5 statute miles scattered at 4,000. 4 statute miles, haze. 4 statute miles, haze. 5 statute miles, haze. 5 statute miles, haze, which Oshkosh itself is reporting 3 statute miles visibility and haze. Okay, so we've got some haze in this area, and it's all remnants of an ongoing wildfire in the region. I think it's actually in Canada, but haze from that wildfire is affecting this whole region. So we will have to kind of see how that impacts us during this trip. All right, we need to get rolling, guys. Let's do it. Get into the aircraft. And who else? Anybody else that I didn't say hi to? Yeah, it looks like the gang is all here. Excellent. Okay, well, I'm gonna kind of rip through this pre-flight as quickly as possible. We're just going to open the windows rather, and we're not going to open the wings. We're going to open the windows and the doors. Let's get the control lock off. Let's go ahead and put the fuel valves into mains, and we'll go ahead and get rid of that yoke just so we can see controls and circuit breakers. Let's go into walk around mode. We'll inspect our flap in all positions. It does feel like there's a little bit of play in that flap, but it does move freely and doesn't rubber catch between positions, so it's okay for now. Aileron moves freely, doesn't rubber catch anywhere. What is our fuel load? We're going to start with 58.3 gallons. We're not going to need any in the tip tanks. So yeah, so we don't need to do anything with the tip tanks. We'll check the lights on the second pass. Let's take up the tie downs. So 58.3 and divide that by 2. 58 divided by 2 would be well, one shy of 30, 29 and a half. Well, let's just say 30. So we'll fill the wing tanks up as high as they go. It's kind of hard. There's a shadow there, but it does look like it's the level of fuel is right at the top, and it's the correct color for our type of fuel. So everything is good there. So we'll have just a little bit left over when we get there. Take the truck. This is where we're going to check to make sure that the fuel the fuel tank has not picked up any water settled into the bottom of it. Okay, so it is immediately a blue color, so that's good. There's no water settled into the bottom of that tank, and that fuel doesn't appear to be contaminated, any kind of debris or impurity there. So everything's good. There's nothing left in the air intake, and the prop looks like it's in good condition. Let's do a check of the oil. We should have just over 9 quarts showing on the stick in cold and dark, and it's starting to get a little bit darker, but it's not yet to the point where we need to change it. So we'll go ahead and put that in. Here's the other wing tank, and again we're going to fill that up to 30 gallons. Yeah. Dr. Monocle says, doing my first VFR flight on VATSIM, departed ARR for Oshkosh and started flying into the clouds without even thinking about it, right? Yeah, I know. That's VFR flight often becomes a game of cloud dodgem. And I find it frustrating because, like you say, we're so used to just pointing the plane and letting her go, follow the line, and an easy mistake to make. Alright, so we're fueled up and ready. We'll get the other tie down, get the pitot cover off. I can visually see my gauges, right? Yeah, visibility 2 feet. 2 statute feet. Nothing we need to do with the left-hand tip tank. Ailerons moving freely, not rubbing or catching. Flap moves freely between positions, but doesn't have too much play in it and not rubbing or catching as it moves. So that's good. No obstruction to the static port. The elevator surface moves. This should move, but not as freely because it's tied to nose wheel steering. We'll take up the last tie down. Nothing blocking the last static port. And we're going to Oshkosh. We're going to stay there for a little while, so we're going to take a good amount of luggage. I don't know whose purse that is, but we'll go ahead and take it. I guess we'll I think somebody left it here who already went to Oshkosh, so we'll load it all in there, and we'll see if we can figure out who it belongs to when we get down there. But yeah, certainly my toolkit and my duffel bag, but then our suitcases for a nice extended stay. It'll still just be me, though. We got all that stuff in there, and good to go. All right, let's get the battery on. Let's get all of the lights on. And we'll do one more pass around just to make sure that they're all working. So we got the green one on that side lit. We got the landing light on the right side lit. See the strobe we can see from almost any position there. And get out here, we can see the other landing lights on. The red light, it's a little tough to see that one's lit, but it is. And then we can need to see the beacon on top spinning. And it's lighted as well. Okay, so we're good there. Now that we are done with that, we can close the door and latch it, and we can put the tablet away. Strobe light can come off. Landing lights can come off. Mix and prop will go full. We'll get the fuel pump on, which is, which one? That one? Yep. I'm going to unlock the primer. Waiting a few seconds for the fuel pressure to come up. Okay, there it has. Fairly warm day, so maybe only 3 times. Okay, we'll lock that. Mix is going to stay in. Throttle's going to come out, but to about 10%. Magneto's right, left, both. And clear, 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 clear. A little more throttle. A little more throttle. Okay, there it comes. So we'll disengage the starter. Back the RPMs down to 1,000. Oil pressure, did it come up right away? Yes, it did. Fuel pressure still on. I'm going to turn the electric fuel pump off. The engine should be supplying its own fuel pressure, and it does seem to be, so everything is good. We want to go ahead and close the winders, and we'll get the rest of the avionics on. So the engine monitor, which I completely ignore, and then we'll individually turn on the rest of the radios. This will be squawking 1200 with altitude mode on, and ADF radio over here. The CTAF where we are, KCMX-X, that is. No AIP data. Okay. Well, we'll look on the chart and see. METAR KCMX. 260 at 12 gusting to 21. 298.8. So 298.8 is about there, and I think the field elevation is just over 1,000. Yeah, almost 1,100. So basically 1,100, and basically 1,100 is just what we saw reading on the gauge. So there we are, good. 260 at 12. We got a runway 25, but it looks like we don't have a taxiway to it, so we can take Charlie out, back taxi, and go, or we can take the intersection from Charlie. It's 5,200 feet, and if Charlie is right about the midway point, then this is 2,600 feet, which is more than enough for us to get airborne in this Comanche, even though it's a little warm and we're a little more fully loaded than we normally are, so we'll have to be careful, but I think we'll just take from Charlie westbound and we should be fine. So I'm going to set my arrow to 25 because that's our departure runway, but then our on course is what? Oh, 228. 63 miles to this first visual waypoint. So 251, and then a left to 228. So 251 is going to be the runway heading, and then a left to 228, which would be 2 left of 230. So there and there. Okay. Let's make sure that it's reading correctly. We're pointing right now at a 215, so let's make sure we at least start from a standpoint of correct correct reading. 215. We can set our flaps for departure. We can set our trim for departure. All right. We can do a control check. Of course, we've checked them already from the outside, but we can check to make sure they move. Can't see the rudder, but somebody outside will give us the big old thumbs up that the rudders are working, and then we'll test the brakes in just a second as well. All right, let's oh, and I didn't so I set 1,000 but I didn't lean the mix out to the point where it starts to drop. So we've been running fully rich here on the ramp. So I might need to doubly check and make sure that we do a burn off of the excess carbon deposits. So forgetting to lean the mix there while we were idling, we might have built up some carbon on those spark plug tips. We'll see that when we get to our run up and see how the engine sounds at that point. Alright, so the comm radios, we got to come back to that and see what the common traffic advisory frequency here is. 122.7. Oh, we're already tuned to that. 21.5, so we're monitoring guard on comm 2 for now, that's fine. And then, I'll tell you what, let's do this. On comm 2, uh, 25.9 and then 20.7. Okay, we'll turn that off for now. No need to try to monitor that until we're a little closer. But anyway, we've got the ATIS and the approach frequencies on and ready to go. And I think that is it then. I just accidentally closed that airport diagram, which I need. So we're up here at the northwestern ramp. We're just gonna taxi south and eastbound on Charlie, and then we'll depart on runway 25. Houghton County traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is departing, or taxiing for departure 25 from taxiway Charlie, VFR southbound, Houghton. Okay, so south and south and eastbound. Okay, brakes, by the way, are working. Brakes have passed that brake check. This would have to be our taxiway, and then we get down to 25. We'll just hold short and we'll do our run up there. And you can see it is a little hazy in the sim. I'm gonna do a nice low cruise. I'm gonna cruise at 2500 basically. Jeffrey B is here. 59 months. Yes. 1 month shy. All right. Well, we'll celebrate that big anniversary when the time comes. Okay, so here we are at the whole short line. Let's run it up to 2,000. I'm going to leave the mix leaned for now. Run it up to 2,000. I'm going to do the prop lever check with the mix leaned. That way, not only will it double as our prop lever exercise, but it will also help us burn off some of that carbon. Okay, now we'll go full rich. Do a carb heat check. Alright, and then let's see how the mags sound. So let's fine tune it to 2,000 here. Okay. Let's test just the left mag. We've dropped just over 100 RPMs there, back to both, and it returns. Okay, let's try just the other one. Yeah, just slightly over 100 RPM drop there, back to normal. Okay, so that's within spec, that's fine. Okie doke. Houghton County traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor's departing runway 25 from taxiway Charlie, VFR southwestbound departure, Houghton County. Alright, strobes, landing lights, pitot, and fuel pump. Alright, let's set takeoff. And away we go. Airspeed's alive. It's up to 80. Plenty of runway. Speaking of plenty of runway, we're not going to pull the gear in until we're sure we don't need to return to that runway. Okay, now we're good. Gear can come in. Ooh, it is hazy. Holy cow. Alright, plenty of airspeed, plenty of altitude. Flaps in. Fuel pump off. Okay, pitch for 105. I'm going to pull the RPMs just very slightly off of the red line here. 24. And manifold pressure can come down to 24. And we'll pitch to maintain 105 knots and that very slight left turn. To our on course, and we got rolling at 2:48. So we'll use that as our time mark as we look for that first visual waypoint. Houghton County traffic, Comanche 514 Delta Victor is clear runway 25 and leaving the area straight out VFR to the southwest, Houghton County. Alright, in order to maintain contact with the ground, I am going to level it at 2500. Alright, we need to keep putting in down trim as the airspeed comes up. I do tend to overshoot the altitudes in this aircraft because it picks up quite a bit of speed once you level it out. We climb it at 105, that's its VY, its best rate of climb speed. So we climb it at 105. When you level it off, it's going to pick up to about 160, 170. Now, this is in miles an hour, not in knots. But still, it shoots up quite a bit of extra speed here once you get leveled. And so you kind of have to keep coming down with the trim while that speed continues to pick up, or else the plane will continue to climb right on past your intended altitude. I'm going to go ahead and pull the RPMs and the throttle now down to 22 and 22, and then we'll lean it out to 14 gallons an hour. Okay, there's 2200 RPMs, 22 on the manifold pressure, and then we'll ease the mix out just a little bit. Right to where it's on 14 gallons. Alright, how are we looking? 22. 22 and 14. Okay, and still steering to the green. Still level at 25. Visibility's not great, but we can see, so we'll keep our fingers crossed that it stays that way. And then let's take a peek now. We don't need the airport diagram anymore, but our first leg is 63 miles. Now, at 170, 180 miles an hour, we're about 150 nautical miles an hour, which is 2.5 nautical miles per minute. So if we're going to go 63, is that what I said? Yeah, 63 miles from our airport to the southern tip of that lake. 63 divided by 2.5. Whoops. 63 divided by 2.5. So 25.2 minutes from when we took off, and we'll add 48 to that, and we'll subtract 60, so it's going to be 13.2 minutes after the top of the hour that we'll expect to be at that lake. And I do need to kind of just make sure that we stay right on that green heading bug. I want to drift off to the left here. Trim up just a little bit. We've lost about 80 feet of altitude. Trim up just a tiny, tiny touch. 22, 22, 14, 2500, and cruising right at 160. Our magnetic heading indicator says we're right on 230. This is a couple degrees off from that, so we'll adjust that. Trimming up, right? Okay. Alright, well, we're underway. Holy cow. Look at this, guys. Look at this. We've already got a very intense line of planes heading up toward Oshkosh on the Fisk arrival. Look at that. Oh, this is going to be fun. Okay, haze is clearing up a little bit. Fingers crossed it stays that way. That legit looks like it does in real life. Yeah, man. Going over a little bit of a ridge line here. A little bit of terrain up ahead to watch for. is Lake Superior off to our right. I wonder if what we're seeing is this lake here that we're flying over top of. That would leave us 42 miles. And if that is the case, then 42 divided by 2.5 should get us there in just about 17 minutes. Yep, and that's kind of what I said earlier, was what, 12 or 13 after the hour. And we're about 3 till the hour right now, so yep, that's holding true. We're picking up some extra altitude now. Get back down to 2,500. I guess what we can also do is there a what's the closest weather station? 999 there, 2993 there, so probably 2995 or thereabouts. But we're even higher than we think we are. Those look like, what do we have? Probably a power line that we're following south and west from this lake. So if I'm looking at the lake that I think I am, is there a power line that runs right past it? Yes, there is. Okay. Plane just wants to climb all of a sudden. One checklist item I did neglect. Alrighty. Drifting off to the right just a little bit, so I'm gonna let the plane turn just a little bit to the left. And now we're putting in just a tiny little bit of down trim to maintain. And I'd said 2,500, now we're up at 3. Of course, we're within 3,000 feet of the ground, so we're not really regulatorily bound to the whole eastbound, westbound VFR altitude thing at this point. Within 3,000 of the ground, you kind of just fly at whatever altitude you want to be at, but you have to be vigilantly looking for other traffic when you do that. He says as he turns his face away from the windshield. Engine's still looking happy. 22, 22, 14. Gauges in the green. This gauge says I'm just a degree or two left of 230, and this one agrees. This is a gyroscopic heading indicator, but it's an old school one. It does not self-correct, so in an aircraft with older directional gyros, you do have to adjust them every now and then. They have what they call gyroscopic precession, so they ever so gradually get out of alignment, and you have to, once in a while, you have to compare what's on here to what's on here, make sure they agree. This is always going to be right, unless it's broken. Always going to be right. There's a card here that gives you some data on minor adjustments based on instrument interference. So I should really be looking at that, but it's going to be within a couple degrees. It's not enough to play a major factor. We can be monitoring the regular en route advisories frequency at this point. But at any rate, what was I just saying? Oh, so this is going to be, so you have some little minor corrections to make to that, just based on what you see here. But the catch is real magnetic compasses, man, they bob and weave around a lot more than the simulated ones typically do. Now, if you start a turn, you'll see that this does appropriately run ahead or behind, based on whether you're rolling into or out of that turn and the direction. So that's why if you're going to make that comparison, you do need to make sure that you're flying along perfectly wings level. Otherwise, it's not going to be correct. You're going to adjust it to a flawed reading. But if you're flying perfectly straight and level, this is going to settle in nicely on an exact number, whereas a real one's going to kind of slowly bob back and forth, and you almost have to just figure out what an average value is that it's reading, and then set your DG to that. Alright, 4 minutes after the top of the hour. Red Baron says, anyone know a good scenery for Oshkosh 24? Oh, so I have this one that I installed from flightsim.to. It's for 2020. I don't know whether it's... Okay, it does not. It says it's not compatible with 2024. So, no, I did not find any others on flightsim.to than this one. It does... So Dr. Monocle says it does work in 2024. It's just missing some aircraft. So there you go, Red Baron. Dr. Monocle says you can use that one. So if you just search up KOSH on flightsim.to, that one will come up. You'll know it's the right one because it is by a very good friend of the stream, Tabletop Android, is the author of this one. Where does it say that? Where does it say that? Oh, there we go. Duh. Okay, we got a ridge line, and then we got a lake that kind of starts to our right. So this, are we a little bit early? We have maybe a tailwind behind us. And it starts and then comes down here. Red Baron, so I will be able to do this at 90 knots, about 105 miles an hour on the gauge. So we'll put flaps and gear out, and we'll do it at 105. And what Red Baron is referring to, and I did not cover this. We're talking about making our way up to Ripon and Fisk, Endeavor Bridge, and then Puckaway, and then Green Lake, and then once you are heading up toward Fisk, at least half-mile trail behind any aircraft. Where does it say? Maybe it's... Here we go. So Red Baron says, I was thinking about doing it in the Comanche, but also want to do at least one flight in with the 170. Yeah, that's a fun little plane to do. Okay, so I don't think we were yet at that larger lake. Although I've wandered off my heading quite a bit here. We're back down at 25. Yeah, it's like 3-4 hours out with the 170. Well, you have to start it closer. You know, I don't know if if you strictly adhere to I only spawn in where I last landed the thing. You know, I'm not strict about that, but yeah, you could obviously start it from someplace closer in if you wanted to. Yeah, no, okay, I got you. It's okay. God will forgive you. Anyway, so what Red Baron was referring to, arrive at the transition starting point at 90 knots and 1,800 feet mean sea level. If you're not able to do 90, what's the other one? 2,300 and 130, I think it is. I can't find it in here. But yeah, 1,800 means sea level, 90 knots. We'll do that. And remember, 90 knots, and our gauge is in miles an hour. So that for us, it's going to read 105 or thereabouts. $120 maybe? Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Oh, yeah, no, all this is in knots. I just have an oddball plane where the gauge is in miles per hour. Here we go. Oh, the airspeed gauge shows knots. Okay. Yeah, you're right. Never noticed that. I've always focused on just those outer numbers. But it only shows it above the white arc. But anyway, I mean, it's fine. 90 knots is about 105. It's about 15%. So 104, 105, something in that range. Oh, it moves with the needle. Funny. Yeah, I've never noticed it. Anyway, this is what we were talking about. 90 knots or your maximum cruise speed of below 90 and 1800 mean sea level. If unable, 135 and 2300 is what it is. It was in there somewhere. Alright, I wonder, did we indeed pass that bigger lake? I feel like we should be over top of it. Oh, or wait a minute. There, I see it, I see it. Okay, so from the southern tip, we're going to turn to a 191, and we're going to go 52 miles. We're going to be over a crap ton of lakes on that one. I guess I better make sure we're not passing over any Class Delta airspace where we at our altitude would be violating it without talking to the controllers. Doesn't look like it. ELW 124 is here. ELW, good to see you. So we are going to turn 191, 52 miles. And we're going to look for this lake here. Nokomis Lake, which is where we'll pick up and follow the Wisconsin River. Let's make sure we turn to that heading from our actual reference point, which was the southern tip of this lake here. Let's trim back up. Keep it at 25. Okay, well, we've got a second. Let's make sure we're straight and level. Steering at 235, but this is a reading at 230. Okay, so we're about 5 degrees off now. And we said we wanted to turn to a 191. And I'm going to turn both arrows to that because we don't need a reference point for a runway direction at this point anymore. Alright, so from the southern tip of that lake, oh, and what do we say, 52 miles? Divided by 2.5, so 21 minutes. Looks like it's going to be about 17 after the hour by the time we cross over this tip here. So 17 and 21. The 18, 28, 38. The 38 after the hour, when we should expect to find ourselves joining the Wisconsin River. Alright, just about to tick over to 17. So 38, yep. Alright, let's go ahead and turn to our new heading, 191. We're in the lane. 52 miles to the Neptune Mastiff. Increase to flank and recompute. All right. Roll out on our new heading. Trim down just a touch. And I was just about to ask myself, well, okay, so we're pointed toward a pretty sizable lake at the moment. Well, does that match up with what we see on the chart? I guess.
I'm gonna need some pliers and
right, Owen? Yeah.
30-weight ball bearings.
The hell you need ball bearings?
It's all ball bearings nowadays.
Yeah, which one of these are we headed toward exactly? Well, I'll tell you what, we will know. I mean, we could almost make it 30 miles to this Lakeland Noble field. Yeah, let's do that, just because I'd be more confident. So a 198. Of course, we've been... So there's 200. We've been about 10 degrees left of that for a little while now. And if we're going 30 miles, then what's that? 30 divided by 2.5.
Mike.
12 minutes? 12. And then 12 and 6? Yeah. So 2.5 times 12. So if we were 17, so 19, so 29 after the hour, we should be over top of that. Lakeland Lee Memorial Field. Okay. So that gives us earlier confirmation of our flight going to plan or not. Jet Pilot Cinema is here. We got the resubscription, 61-month resubscription, who was 2 months ahead of Jeffrey B., who was just resubbed for 59 earlier in the stream. JPC got on the bandwagon just a tad earlier than Jeffrey. Yeah, right, and there's no way to make that up. Yeah, there's no way to catch up. JPC says, great performance yesterday. Thank you. I appreciate that. Melvin, of course, in the chat with us. He was the winner of the vote for Best in Show. So congrats. Well-deserved, Melvin. Iconic aircraft, and you flew it very well. Melvin did a... So we're talking about the Virtual USA Flying Club 3rd Annual Air Show. Man, we got the whole crew here. Jeffrey B. was our host extraordinaire, host and video producer. Host, producer, and director, right? JPC, the event organizer and coordinator. Fantastic work, and Melvin was the shining star of the production. Oh, JPC. I was just the hole who organized, and he got timed out by the bot. Sorry, I think it's 1 minute or 2 minutes, JPC. Don't take it personally. I might even be able to. Does this work? I don't even know. Jeffrey B is saying, I'm taking partial credit for the Melvin win because of the unfolding wings in the CSL. Yeah, those were some beautiful shots too, and the camera work. And I know you used X-Plane 12 for the broadcast, and you have X-Camera, which is a fantastic little add-on for X-Plane. But man, you really managed that well. Just fantastic production all the way around. The music was a beautiful touch. I loved how that worked out. So guys, if you didn't get a chance to see it, yeah, yesterday's air show was about 16, 17 performances, something like that. About a 3.5 hour show. And it is up on YouTube, and you can go check that out. JPC will likely put it into the put the link into the stream chat for us. One minor glitch with the recording was that Twitch, in its infinite wisdom, saw fit to mute the recording of the national anthem, having flagged it as copyrighted material. So we'll have to we'll have to figure out how to fix the audio there. That's looking suspiciously airstrippy, wouldn't you say? Melvin's custom music got him the win. Yeah, that I was not able to listen to that at full volume, but yeah, Melvin's been on quite a kick with that custom music. We should so JPC and Jeffrey and I are going to try and fix that, Melvin. Alright, we are coming into a nice haze layer here. The third Melvin song, I'd been laughing so hard I had to mute the mic. I'm definitely going to have to listen to that back then. I was only kind of half paying attention. I did catch that it was, you know, one of Riverton Throttle's greatest hits, if you will. But I'll have to listen to it. Something about it'll buff out. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to listen to that then. Once we get down. All right, let's make sure we keep visual contact with the ground here, guys. The AI had fun at my expense. Yeah, I tell you what, man. You ask AI to roast somebody or something, it nails it. Yeah, no, I think it did. JPC said the music definitely helped Jeffrey because it gave him time to breathe without feeling the need to continuously fill dead air. No, I agree with you completely. So what did I say the distance was? 12 minutes to this Lakeland Noble Airport. I hope we are able to see the airport when we're over top of it. I feel like the lake that we're over top of now might be this kind of larger one, Moving Cloud Island. I did see a strip that led up to a lake here. I commented on that. That might have been that we were over top. But we were over top of that one Linear Lake at, what, I think 17, and I think we said 12 minutes, so 29 after. Yeah, so JPC said the only thing I wish we had was more formation groups. We were initially planning on as many as 5, but wound up only having the 1. No, I agree with you. That would have been chef's kiss. I will have to come up with something new for next year, though. I mean, I've done that Corsair demo twice now, and I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. The in-cockpit vantage of that, by the way, is on my YouTube channel if you want to check that out. So I enjoyed it both times I did it. I think I did it a little better the first year. Alright, that Canadian wildfire haze is really impacting us now. This is going to be some tough visibility. I'm going to head for this patch of land here, as I'm suspicious it may be the airport that we're looking for. Yeah, it would be great, JPC, to get more group demonstrations. Okay, so that's not an airport. For what it's worth, formation flights are really tough for camera work, though. Yeah, that's a fair point. I got a fairly sizable highway here. Doesn't match up with anything on the map. So the airport might just be a little bit further ahead yet. This is not really a highway though. Coming into an area of pretty decent population all of a sudden. I hope I'm not this far off course that I'm over here at Rhinelander. Definitely southbound, but I kind of want to be more like a 190. It's a beautiful little area, though. Alright, well, we're going to have to kind of reorient ourselves, and that's going to be tough. You know, you're navigating visually and you don't have any vision. It's kind of the most important ingredient in visual navigation. Okay, so we got a pretty big highway that we're following. That's now more on our intended track. Okay, but so we might be... Might be coming through this area here. Smattering of towers. A, good thing I didn't hit them. B, I wonder if they're on the chart here somewhere. Like, yeah, right through here, maybe? Towers, and then the road bends to the left. So... over to the right. Oh no! Red Life says, storm cut my power right over Fond du Lac on the Warbird arrival, so grease the landing for me. I'll do my best, sir. Sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. And I'll tell you what, VATVenture, they used to do VATVenture on multiple days. So you kind of had an opportunity to take another crack at it, but I think this year it's just today. Alright, so first of all, I realize now I'm at 2,300 and descending. So let's get back up to 2,500. Although I'm scared to go too much higher. Scared to go too much higher because if we lose sight of the ground, then we're not visually navigating. But secondly, I gotta figure out where we are. We do have a VOR just to our east if we are where we think we are, 115.05. We can get a kind of a bearing off of that, 115.05. Swap that in. .2 and counting down. So we're coming off from it. Alright, well, hold on. First of all, let's make sure. Let's set this to exactly 200. Yeah, that haze is crazy. That craze is hazy. So we'll set this to exactly 200. Okay, then we're good in terms of our directional gyro matching up with our compass. So we just passed through 290, so 289, and we'll call it 14 miles. Okay, so we're not yet. So we need to be tracking on a 182. And I'll tell you what, probably need to be tracking left of that because I think I'm further west. You know, much further west than I intended to be. I think I'm probably over that Willow Reservoir. Because I think they draw these to 10, so 14 would be like here. We probably need to be... on more like a 155. Yeah, so we're dead due west of it at 12 miles now. So we're about there. Okay, so we track about a 160. That should put us over top of a pretty sizable lake. From the south of which, yeah, okay, from the southern tip of which should come a river that we will then follow. Oh, and Jeffrey Sisson, thank you for the kind words about the broadcast. Well, it was really, really well done, man. Can't say it enough. It was really, really well done. And I will say this for you, JPC. I was briefly involved in another virtual air show that was put on VATSIM, and the organizer of that did nowhere near as good a job as you in terms of the cat wrangling. And by cat wrangling, I mean making sure that all the performers got all the information to us in a timely manner, in terms of what they were flying, what maneuvers they were doing, you know, who they were, and all that stuff. Because that first year of that event, I was the announcer, and I had basically no information to go on. I had no idea what maneuvers people were trying to perform, when those maneuvers didn't look on the screen the way they were supposed to. I had no idea what I was supposed to say about what they were doing. You know, really just got nothing, and was talking aircraft specs as best as I could. You know, I kind of at least knew what they were flying and could talk about the aircraft history a little bit. Really didn't know too much about the performers, and then what was happening on the screen was just yeah, kind of like, oh, there goes another loop, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, so, but I can tell you, like, I sympathize with you for all that, because I just remember what it was like to be the announcer and be in the dark on all that stuff, and it's horrendous. It's no kind of way to go, man. All right, so I see. Let's get another bearing off of our station here. We're off of it at like a 225 and 11 miles. So where does that put us? 225 is out here. Okay, so we might be near this Tomahawk Regional. It may have been you telling us that story before the first show, Jeffrey says. That led to me insisting on that stuff early. Well, good. I'm happy to have bombed something so badly that I became a cautionary tale. and what you know, whatever manner I can help. All right, well, let's do it this way, guys. If we want to make it to this point here, okay, that's the point I want to aim for. If I was, well, I'm not going to do this, but if I was to fly it from the VOR, I'd be at 216 and 16 miles. All right, so let's do a couple of things. So for starters, okay, so 216 would be there. Oh, and we're at 16 now, and we're a little bit left of where we want to be. So I need to shimmy over to the right and then follow about a 204, and then that should put us on a path that follows the river. So this may be, I think we're looking at the river that I'm trying to follow. Okay, so I think we are on the correct river now. This visibility is not doing us any favors whatsoever. You know, a lot of times you hear the term barely legal, because you're not referring to MVMC, but today that's what we're talking about. There was a massive line coming into Oshkosh before. Seems to have dissipated. I hope that we still have a good amount of traffic down there. Hope that I didn't plan. If I was going to plan this long a flight, maybe I should have started earlier. Hopefully there's a second wave. I see that there's still a good amount of general aviation traffic kind of in the region heading that way, so maybe we'll all kind of congregate at the same time magically. We'll see. Are we able to receive the ATIS yet? I'm still a little too far out for that, I think. trim down just a touch. Make sure we keep 2500. So I need to be able to see the river that we're trying to follow here. Well, I'll tell you, friends, since we've got a few minutes, in case you're new to the channel, our typical broadcast schedule is Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu Time. This is a rare weekend stream and a rare afternoon stream on the channel, although two in a row, yesterday and today. Very, very rare event. But Tuesdays and Fridays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu Time. That's the normal schedule. The full show schedule is down underneath the About tab. It's also over on our Discord server. I have published, by the way, the August show schedule. It's always subject to revision if new events get published, but whatnot, or whatnot. But a preliminary stab at the August show schedule is now posted, and the schedule goes deeper on the Discord, whereas it'll go all the way through the following month, whereas on the About tab profile we're a little bit more space limited there. So we've got the next couple of weeks posted in the under the About tab here on Twitch, and then the full show schedule through the following month is over on our Discord. There's a Discord server link, by the way, is on the lower right-hand side of your screen. The river's meandering off to the left, and I was going to try and just cut the corner and pick it up ahead of us, but I can't see it, so I guess I gotta stay with it here. Anyway, so obviously we're off that schedule today. We're back on Tuesday night. That's going to be our next show. We're going to be back into the BAE 146 doing some regional airliner ops. We're going to go Charlotte to Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and then back to Charlotte, mimicking a real-world American regional flight. Oh, look. So where is that? Are we at Walsall? No, we're not that far south. Maybe. No, here, I think that's Merrill Municipal, most likely. And then the river turns right again. Yeah, so one long runway and then a little short one crossing it at the end. Yeah, so that's this one here. And then we'll bend back down to the south and east. If, as I say, I can see the river up ahead. Anyway, so Tuesday, regional airliner ops in the BAE 146. And then instead of Friday this week, we'll be on Thursday. So Tuesday and Thursday this week. Thursday, we're hosting ZDC, the Washington Air TCC on VATSIM is hosting a night on the Chesapeake, where we're going to staff up a lot of our miter fields scattered throughout the Chesapeake Bay. And also, I'll be doing some VATSIM air traffic control for you. Don't yet know the position. Normally they stick me on the Chesapeake sector of Potomac for stuff like that. This is the major sector that I am certified for. Easton will definitely be one of them, yes, sir. But that'll be on Thursday, so we'll be off on Friday, having a broadcast for you on Thursday night this week. But the full schedule, as I mentioned, is down under the About tab, and a full schedule over on our Discord server. So BAE on Tuesday, VATSIM air traffic control on Thursday this week. On this channel, we also host 2 raffle drawings that we draw on alternating months. So we've got 1 raffle drawing every single month on this channel. Raffle number 1 is called our Alphabets raffle. That's the one that you enter with our Alphabets points, the Twitch channel points there at the bottom of the chat panel. You've got the Alphabets serial icon that represents those, and you got a button next to that that tells you how many you have. Click on that button, it'll show you the options for cashing those in. Cash in 2,000 of those points, get yourself 1 entry into that drawing. If you save up and do 10,000 points, well, that would be the cost of 5, but we'll give you a 6th one for your trouble. So 6 for the price of 5 if you do 10,000 as opposed to 2,000. That's how you enter. There we go. Bet Dave needs some tickets. Get those punched into the system here for you. Alright, where's that river going? Okay, I see it. But anyway, so that's how you enter the Alphabets drawing, and we do those drawings toward the end of the odd-numbered months. By the way, I don't think I put in a date to do the landing rate raffle drawing for August. I'll have to look. I don't know if I have raffle drawing dates on the schedule. I'll look and I'll fix that after we get down. Anyway, that's our Alphabets raffle. That's the one that we pull toward the end of the odd-numbered months. Toward the end of the even-numbered months, we pull a raffle entrant from our landing rate raffle. When we get over toward Ripon and Fisk, not yet, but then we will get your predictions as to the vertical descent rate in terms of feet per minute at the moment the wheels touch the runway surface. And get those predictions in prior to the touchdown, and then when the touchdown occurs, we'll figure out who was the closest, above or below. Not necessarily like Price is Right rules, but above or below, whoever's closest, and that person will get an entry into our landing rate raffle. That's the one that we'll pull toward the end of the even-numbered months. When we pull those tickets, winner gets their choice of any item off of the Slant Alpha prize vault list, and that includes any of our branded merch items, our t-shirt, ball cap, mouse pad, coffee mug, or tote bag. If you don't want any of that, you can opt instead for a electronic gift card, and your choices there are Amazon.com, Xplane.org store, and SimMarket.com. Okay, so we are looking at Wausau downtown airport here. Of course, if I'm flying this close to it, I really should be transmitting on the common traffic advisory frequency, just letting traffic at this airport know that I'm overflying. I guess we'll forego that this time. But that's definitely that airport, so we're getting there. Oh, and we're coming up on this Class Delta airspace. That goes up to 3,800 feet. So I'm going to do a quick turn. I don't want to encroach on that delta. Oh, wow. Got a radio tower there I don't want to crash into either. So I'm going to quick climb up to 4,000 as we pass over central Wisconsin. That way I am not encroaching on their Class Delta airspace. We'll see what visibility looks like from there. And maybe I'll just drop it back to 3,500 as we then progress kind of eastbound. But we also are close enough now that we need to go ahead and pick up this ATIS information. Or, oh, there we go.
120.7 for runway, assignment and frequency. Oshkosh Tower will assign runway 36 left or 3FIXR. Departing runway 27 and 3FIXL. VFR departure follows the notice to the runway. Do not contact ground control for taxi. VFR aircraft departing runway 27. Monitor Osh Tower frequency 118.50 for departure instruction. VFR aircraft departing runway 36 left. Monitor Osh Tower frequency 126.6 for departure instruction. IFR aircraft contact 118.5 for clearance and approval for engine start no earlier than 30 minutes prior to ETP. Do not start taxi without approval. Advise on initial contact. You'll have information delta.
Okay, so it's information delta.
Airport day tip information delta 1853 Zulu. West 260 at 6. Visibility 4. Haze. View clouds at 3,800. Temperature 25. 2.14. Altimeter 3001. R9 or VOR runway 27 approach and use. VFR arrival procedures in effect. Runway 27. 3FIXL. 3FIXR in use. Pages 10 and 15 in the notice. Notices to air missions monitor Oshkosh approach control frequency 120.7 for runway assignment and frequency. Oshkosh Tower will assign runway 36 left or 3FIXR. Departing runway 27 and 3FIXL. VFR departure follows the notice to the runway. Do not contact.
Okay, so they're arriving 27 and 36s.
Runway 27. Monitor Osh Tower frequency 118.50 for departure instruction. VFR aircraft departing runway 36 left. Monitor Osh Tower frequency 126.6 for departure instruction. IFR aircraft contact 118.5 for clearance and approval for engine start no earlier than 30 minutes prior to ETP. Do not start taxi without approval. Advise on
Rippin, once you do have an aircraft to follow, no S-turns, no side-by-sides, no over-unders. If you do get too close, make sure you turn left
hang
and
on,
go
guys.
back to Rippin and try again. There's no worries with that.
Alright, so they are arriving on 27
I won't answer your question, so you'll need to refer back to the notes.
and 36s.
Be prepared for instructions within a mile to half a mile of Fisk. I won't call you any farther than that. If you do hear a similar aircraft type on frequency, and I am providing instructions for that aircraft, and you are not a mile or half a mile from Fisk, it is more than likely not going to be you, so don't follow those instructions.
Alright, our little terrorist here is causing trouble.
We're currently landing runway 27 and 36. Make sure you get that aided. If you're assigned 27, you're going to follow the railroad track northbound, enter a right downwind for 27 inside the gravel pit. The tower will call you your descent for departure, climbing to 13. If you're assigned runway 36, you're going to follow the east-west road and keep the microwave tower on the right side. As a reminder, 90 knots, 1800. If you're unable to do 90 knots and 1800 mean sea level, you're going to maintain 135 knots and 2300. That being said, I don't want to see single engine prop aircraft at 2300, 135. Most likely not going to be able to do that. Reserve that for the faster twins.
Yeah, indeed. If you're able to do the 90, do the 90.
If you want a flight of 2 or more, you let me know over ribbon. No earlier than that, I won't remember.
Okay, so here is Central Wisconsin Airport.
As you come over to about a mile to half a mile from Fisk, I will ask you to rock your wings. Do rock your wings in the sim, but I guess for me as well, so I can find you easier.
So from here, we're going to kind of follow a 154 down to the Stevens Point airports.
But ladies and gentlemen, we do have plenty of parking at the field right now, so we're bright and open, VFR conditions. Welcome to Oshkosh 2025. Let me know if you have any questions.
So kind of aim for about a 150 here. Almost parallel with the bottom of the L here.
As you're coming up to Ripon here, find an aircraft to follow. Remember half a mile intro, similar types only. If you're faster, 135 knots, 2300. Otherwise, everyone else 90 knots, 1800. Half a mile in trail. That's what I need. If half a mile is not going to work,
that's
you're
a 17.
Make a left turn, go back to Ripon, and try again.
Alright, so the directional...
Please do follow VFR flight plan if you haven't already. Include the aircraft type in the color in the remarks so I can find you.
The directional gyros is 175. It looks like we're steering about a 174, and we're maybe a degree off of that, so
reminder, you don't
not
need
too
to
bad.
read back instructions. Please don't read back instructions unless you need clarification.
Actually, this is more like a 170 now.
As you're going past the Ripon transition, make sure that you stay directly over the railroad.
Okay,
Don't
so
be
we're
on the left side
4,000
or the right side.
feet.
The north side and the south side of the railroad.
We're actually flirting with
Half a
39.
mile in trail of all other aircraft. 90
But
knots,
the Delta goes to
1800.
38. But we'll stay at 4,000 until we're sure we're outside of that
It's not going to
Delta.
work. Don't cut off another aircraft. Just make a turn, left turn out.
Once we
and,
pass
go
the
back
dam
over
here,
the
we know we can drop back to 35. Am I able to see that dam? Not really. I'm over the highway, but I'm okay. I think I see the dam here, and a nice wide lake that turns into this skinny river. So I think the dam must be right here. Once we pass that, we can drop it back to 35. I don't know if Minneapolis is even on. Yeah, so we there is no air traffic control that would have been handling that class Delta. So we could have just self-authorized the transition through it. That's fine, though. Oh, we got a good line forming up here.
Alrighty, if you're just joining us, welcome to Oshkosh 2025, VATVenture 2025. We're excited to have you here at the field. Hopefully everyone's gonna enjoy the show. We are starting everything at Ripon for now. Just go direct to Ripon and join the procedure from there. Stay directly over the railroad tracks. Don't go on the left side of it or the right side of it. I want to see all aircraft right over it. No S-turns, no side-by-sides, no over-unders. Find someone to follow and follow them. Ensure that you're following similar type aircraft only if it's not going to work or spacing is reduced. from half a mile in-trail spacing. That's what we want. If you get too close, you're going to make a left turn, go back to Ripon, and you're going to try again. You're going to maintain 90 knots, 1800. If unable, maintain 135 knots, 2300. If you are a flight of 2 or more, do let me know over Ripon. No earlier than that, I won't remember this. We are currently landing runway 27 and 36. If you're assigned runway 27 after Fisk, you're going to follow the railroad track northbound and are right down for runway 27.
I hope we get 27. I think I've done 36 multiple times.
We have departures off 27 climbing to 13. If you're assigned runway 36, you're going to follow the east-west road after Fisk. Keep the microwave tower on the right side. That's the south side of you. And if you need clarification, you can read back instructions. Otherwise, do not read back instructions unless you absolutely need clarification. If I do find myself busy and I don't answer questions, I won't be able to. You'll need to refer to the notice.
Red Baron says I've also gotten 1.8. Yeah, 1.8's pretty stressful. I think I've gotten 3.6 every time I've done this.
Keely,
stop.
Refer back to the notice. Helicopters should remain clear of all Ripon and Fisk arrival areas.
Stop, Keely.
Please do follow VFR flight plan, include the aircraft type and the color and the remarks.
Hang on 1 second, guys. Hang on 1 second.
Ensure that you are half a mile in-trail spacing, 90 knots, 1800. I should only see twins, 135 knots, 2300, or faster aircraft that are unable 90 safely. Plenty of parking spaces available at the field. Looking forward to seeing you all there.
All right. We had to activate the ejector seat. But everything's fine now.
At the Ripon transition for now, it's not too busy, so go direct to the Ripon transition. Don't worry about the priors, and join the procedure from there.
All right, so we should be coming up on the Stevens Point
Coming up to Ripon here. Sorry, as you're coming
Airport.
up to Fisk here, you be prepared for instructions within a mile to half a mile from Fisk. If you hear instructions for similar type aircraft and you are not a mile to half a mile from Fisk, it is probably not for you. Do not follow those instructions. Remain on the railroads until you are half a mile from Fisk.
So the Wisconsin River should make a hard right turn here somewhere.
When I ask you to rock your wings, please do ident in addition to that for simulator limitations.
Our Sergeant 4 Charlie Jet just departed Warbird, bound for 90.
Okay, I don't need to know that. If you are a Warbird arrival, you're going to go to the south runway 36, so that's going to be 126.6. If you're on the Fisk arrival, for a Warbird, that shouldn't be the case. Alrighty, the Cessna 152 looks like a white aircraft right over Fisk. Rock your wings.
So we should be looking so that here's the bend in the river, and I should be looking for a north-south highway to follow here.
Alright, the Cessna 152, good rock there. Make a right turn, follow the east-west road, monitor tower 126.6. Welcome to the show.
Okay, so there's the bend in the river.
Those aircraft opposite direction over the Fisk arrival, you shouldn't be there. Remain clear of that area at or above 3,000 if possible, please.
22 and 22 back.
An aircraft after Ripon there, just be cautious for opposite direction traffic.
Okay, there's the bend in the river.
Alrighty, that diamond, white diamond, looks like a blue and white diamond, rock your wings. Alright, blue and white diamond, you're going to follow the railroad track northeastbound, enter right down for Q7, monitor tower 118.5, welcome to the show. Alrighty, the next one I don't see, that aircraft about a half mile southwest of Fisk, rock your wings.
I'm going to tune the tower frequencies up in the top radio just to have them ready. 118.5 was one.
Looks like a white, maybe a high wing white. Make a right turn, follow that east-west road. Remain north of the microwave tower, and tower is 126.6.
26.6 and 18.5.
I see a red, maybe a little bit of white in there, a red and white. Maybe a Cessna, a mile and a half, I'm sorry, half a mile southwest of 5th, rocker wings. Right over 5th now.
So, alright, so I got
You're going to follow the railroad northeast bound, enter right down.
got the river bending behind me, and then a diagonal highway.
Frequency is 118.5, welcome to the show.
Should be a U.S. highway that I'm...
Alrighty, I can't quite make out the aircraft, the color or the aircraft type. So that aircraft that's about half a mile southwest of 5th, maybe 3/4 of a mile, rocker wings. Beautiful rock there. You're going to make a right turn over 5th. You're going to follow the east-west road, remain north of the microwave tower. Plan for runway 36, towers 126.6. Have a good day.
I am not seeing this northwest highway that I'm supposed to be following here. Northwest. North and south highway.
As a reminder, as you're joining us here, we're starting everything at the ribbon transition. So direct ribbon, join the procedure
think
from there. Find an aircraft
this
similar type to follow. Maintain 90 knots, 1800. If unable, 135.
It's that. So if I track that east... Yeah, so there's a little bump, and then a loop, and then that continues east.
The east-west route tower is going to be 126.6. Right turn for the east-west road.
And then there should be north and south. Is this our north-south highway here? Okay, I think this is the road we're following.
Beautiful turn.
That's going to take us down to Endeavor Bridge. And then he's saying that we're not really needing to start at Endeavor Bridge. So once we get to Endeavor Bridge, we can just proceed straight into Ripon and join the procedure, is what he said. So
don't see the rock either. Either the aircraft are directly over 5th rocker wings. You ident for me as well. There we go. The aircraft directly over 5th. You're going to follow the railroad northbound, northeastbound, entering right down
47 miles south.
Don't start the descent yet until tower lets you know. The tower frequency you're going to monitor 118.5. Welcome to the show.
Okay, yeah, we're good, and it looks.
We're landing runway 27 and 36. If you're assigned 27, you're going to follow the railroad track northbound. And right down for 27 inside the gravel pit. If you're assigned runway 36, you're going to follow the east-west road. Keep the microwave tower on your right side.
All right, friends.
Half-mile trail, please. Everyone looking good right now.
So.
Alright, I see a Comanche coming up to 5th here, rocker wings. Beautiful rock Comanche. You're going to make a right turn over 5th, follow the east-west road eastbound, keep the microwave tower on the right side. And contact monitor tower 126.6. Welcome to the show.
So 18.5 if we get the railroad, 26.6 if we get the Fisk Avenue. Alright, so as we back this southbound, there's just a little bit of a hitch.
Alrighty, a blue aircraft, can't quite make out the type, maybe a high wing, a blue high wing. half a mile southwest of Fisk. Rock your wings.
A little bit of a hitch, and then it continues. Where's that?
Beautiful, beautiful rock. Let's do, what runway do you want?
Let's do 27.
27, sweet. You're going to follow the railroad tracks northeastbound, enter right down for 27. Don't start that descent until tower lets you know. And monitor tower 118.5, welcome to the show.
Is it these little bumps in here? So I guess I'm probably somewhere near
Once you're past
Wautoma.
Do ensure to stay directly over that railroad track. Don't be on the left side, don't be on the right side. It makes things harder.
I do want to keep 3,500 for now. Does look like the haze is very bad over to our right,
Within a mile to half a mile.
but we are looking at pretty good weather off to our left.
I call for instructions on frequency, and you're not a mile to half a mile from Fisk. It's probably not for you, so don't break off that procedure.
Twenty-two, 14.
Clear the Ripon and Fisk arrival areas. Warbird and turbine arrivals are separate. That information
Plenty of fuel. Still got 16, 17 gallons each side.
You're just joining us. The starting transition is Ripon. So you're going to go direct to Ripon. Don't worry about the prior transitions. Join the procedure from there.
Yeah, so we're gonna fly over.
Similar type to maintain half a mile intro spacing from it. If you do get too close, turn left and go back
these
to Ripon and try again.
transitions anyway, but we're just not going to need to hold at them.
Maintain 90 knots, 1800. That's mean sea level. Then you're going to maintain 135 knots, 135.
Is this Endeavor here?
300. If you're a flight of 2 or more, let me know over Ripon, no earlier than that.
I don't think we're quite down as far as Endeavor Bridge yet.
An aircraft to follow. Do ensure not to make any S-turns or side-by-side maneuvers or over/under. Some similar maneuvers to that. Just find someone to follow and follow them close. If you do get too close, rather than extreme maneuvers, make a left turn, go back to Ripon, and try again.
Yeah, I think we're passing
As a reminder, we do
Bucky's Air Park and these lakes here.
Climbing at 1300, so if you are assigned run a 27,
If that's the case, it's 23 more miles before Endeavor Bridge.
All right, I got a Cub about a half mile southwest of Ripon, Fisk, Rocker Wing. Beautiful looking rocks there. Which runway do you want?
If he gives us the choice, we're doing 27 also.
Make a right downwind, run a 27 towers, 118.5. Welcome to the show.
Red Bear, I'm headed toward Endeavor. He's announcing that you don't need to do any of the transitions.
Please do not read back instructions unless you need
that you can just start straight from Ripon. So you can head straight to Ripon. I'm just, for navigation purposes, I'm just going to follow these just so I know where I am and I know I'm in the right spot. Artie021 says, yeah, there's something missing in the About tab. You're giving away merch for raffle, but there's no link to the store. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I couldn't find a store that I liked, but yeah, you shoot me a DM. We can easily work something out.
All right, I can't quite make out an aircraft type there, or the color really. So that aircraft that's approaching directly over Fisk Rocker Wings. Beautiful, beautiful rock. Thank you, sir. You're going to make a right turn. Let's go run a 36, follow that east-west road, remain north of the microwave tower, and monitor tower 126.6.
Didn't they tell us to put in our remarks what we are in our color? Yes, it sounds like somebody did forget to do that, though.
Do your best to stay directly over the railroad track.
So when he said, I can't tell what color you are, it's probably somebody that just probably forgot to do that.
If you haven't already picked it up, the ATIS is on 125.9, or that's 25.9. We are landing, we're on a 27 and 36.
Alright, so we should be...
Please do your best to have a VFR flight plan, including the aircraft type and color in the remarks section, only for sim limitations. All aircraft should squawk mode Charlie, and a VFR code of 1200 if you can.
So the road's kind of swinging over to the left a little bit. Let's see if we can figure out where we are.
Another aircraft coming here about half a mile southwest of...
So I think we're about here.
That kind of sucks, so I can't really make out your aircraft type of rock your wings.
So I think we're 12 miles from Endeavor Bridge.
The aircraft approaching Fisk rocker wings. All right, that's a beautiful rock. Let's do a right turn. To start that right turn right now, you're directly over Fisk, follow that east-west road. And you're going to monitor tower on 126.6 for runway 36.
Yeah, so, and as a reminder from Red Baron Flies, yes, so they did tell us, you know, you do want to file a VFR flight plan. Now, it is still the case, it is true that the U.S. radar client, CRC, does not get VFR flight plans. Okay, and that mirrors the way it works in the real world. In the real world, if you're VFR and you want flight following, there's nothing to file. You just call up the controller and you advise them your aircraft type, cruise altitude, and destination. Whether you put it in a plan or not. However, on VATSIM, the remarks that you put in do come through to the controller. So if they open up a VFR strip for you and they put in your information that you've given to them verbally, the remarks that you put in will indeed still be there. So, you know, I did 514 Delta Victor, VFR, PA24, we're light, equipment codes, and VFR southwestbound is all we put in for the route. And I put in that I'm a red, white, and blue low wing.
And if you're unable to maintain 90 knots, 1800, you can maintain 135 knots for aircraft limitations, or 135 knots, 2300, that's mean sea level. That being said, I do want to see single engine aircraft that are able to do 90 at 18 and keep the 23s free for prop twin engine aircraft.
Okay. How we doing?
Another aircraft just southwest, maybe half a mile southwest of Fisk. The sun's kind of in my eyes, so I can't really see your aircraft type, but rock your wings for me.
I think we are...
That aircraft half a mile.
Oh, so yeah, Jeffrey B says slightly off topic, but that's also how you get your information to show up on VATSIM radar and VATSPY and so forth. Yep, that is correct. Okay, so we got a little banana-shaped lake over on the left-hand side and a diagonal cluster lake to our right. So I think we are right here at Westfield. So that makes it 8 miles to the bridge. Matter of fact, I can see
as a reminder, if you are assigned runway 27, you're
the
going to
name
follow
of
the
that
railroad track northbound and right down
lake.
to 27.
I don't know if it's Endeavor Lake, but it's Endeavor Bridge.
For departures climbing at 13.
But there it is right there, coming into sight. And the controller is basically The controller is basically telling us we can proceed direct to Ripon to start. Oh, Stu says we're meeting at the bridge at the same time, but I'm at 2300. Well, I'm at 30. I'm trying to be at 35. I drifted up to 37. As I descend, though, I'll try to make sure I don't come right down right on top of you.
It's a high wing or a low wing. That's the awesome rock right there. Make a right turn over Fifth, follow that east-west road eastbound. And you can remain north of the microwave.
I don't
tower,
see you, though,
please,
Stu.
and monitor tower 126.6. Welcome to the show.
All right, I'm going to flip the arrow to west because I'm hoping they give me 27, but we'll see what happens. And looks like I'm flying about a 195, so let's go ahead and put a little bit of a correction into the gyro here. Okay. So from here, we are going to turn eastbound, and we're going to be looking for Puckaway Lake. So a 093. Okay.
Howdy everyone, if you're just joining us, welcome to VATVenture 2025. It's an exciting place here at Oshkosh. This year we're going to be starting
Yeah, no, I know, Stu. Going back to the
so go direct to Ripon
whoops.
and join the procedure from there. Stay directly over the railroad track, please. Try not to remain on the north or the south side. That's the left and the right.
Going back here, yeah, they want you over the south shore, you know, staying to the right of the lakes.
Similar type aircraft only, please. Maintain half a mile intro spacing. If you get too close, ensure you make a left turn.
See the
go back to Ripon and try again.
see them up here.
Do maintain 90 knots 1800 as described in the notice. If you're unable to maintain 90 knots 1800, you're going to maintain 135 knots 2300. That being said, I don't want to see Cessna 172 and similar aircraft 2300. I want to see twins. If you're a flight of 2 or more,
Oh, we got
do let
traffic
me know
down there below us.
No earlier than that, I will forget you. We are currently landing running 2736. If you're assigned running 27, you're going to follow the railroad track northbound.
Traffic up ahead to our right, left as well.
Inside the gravel pit. Do note that we have departures off of 27. They're climbing at 1300. The tower will call your descent. And if you're assigned running 36 off of 5th, you're going to follow the east-west road eastbound and keep the microwave tower on the south side, which is off of your right.
So we got traffic ahead here.
Follow VFR flight plan if you haven't already. Include your aircraft type and color in the remarks so it's easier for me to find you. It's a SIM limitation.
Traffic coming at us.
Squawk mode C and a VFR code of 1200, please. Do not read back instructions unless you need.
Let's go ahead and start bringing it down to 1800.
If I am busy, which I am not at the moment, I won't answer questions. You need to refer back to the notice.
Okay, so
Be
this
prepared for
first,
instructions within a mile to half a mile of Fisk.
as we get to Puckaway Lake, there's a smaller lake off to the right. We can kind of split the difference here.
And you are not a mile to a half a mile from Fisk. It is probably not for you. You need to remain on the arrival. Please do also ident in addition to that wing rock in the sim for simulator.
Start bringing it down to 1800. Let's start bringing it down to 90 knots, which is going to be 105
Or refer back to the notice.
in miles per hour.
Warbird and turbine arrivals are on runway 36 only. Helicopters should remain clear of Ripon and Fisk arrivals. All other aircraft remain clear of Ripon and Fisk arrival areas at or below 3,000.
Okay, it looks like we've got some traffic that's just coming up on Puckaway.
The transition we are using right now is Ripon. Thankfully it's not too busy, but we do have plenty of parking spaces left. We are not using Endeavor Bridge, Puckaway, or Green Lake at the moment. So you can go direct Ripon and join the procedure from there.
Okay. So coming up ahead on our left is Puckaway Lake. So I'm gonna fly over the landmass right between them here. So we're gonna bring it down to 1,800 feet, mean sea level, and we're gonna slow it to 90 knots, which is gonna be 105 on the gauge. Let's real quick turn it to the page where it talks about the taxi-in.
Oh, nice. I see a guy. Maybe a VTEL? I don't know what VTELs there could be, but there's a VTEL about half a mile southwest of Fisk to rock your wings. Half a mile southwest. Oh, nice. Beautiful rock there, VTEL. You're going to make let's do a right turn. Actually, what runway do you want?
We'll take 27.
27? Okay, we're going to follow the railroad northeastbound. Make your turn inside the gravel pits, enter it
right off the runway into the grass,
and you're going to
onto Bravo or on the grass near Bravo.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, so let's keep it at 1,800. But by the way, let's get a 3001 is the altimeter. Okay, we'll level it out. Start spinning the props up. That'll help us slow it down.
If you do have a fuel emergency or you're coming up on low on fuel, we do have alternate airports available. That is Appleton, Alpha Tango Whiskey to the north, as well as Fond du Lac, Foxtrot, Lima Delta.
Got the follow there. Dragonov Sergey, welcome. Thank you very kindly for the follow. Took me a minute to see what the where the spaces go in that name. Alright, so slowly but surely spinning the props up. Okay, so here's Puckaway Lake off to our left. And as they are saying right now, they are not requiring any kind of holding or formation here. They are saying to proceed direct to the town of Ripon and join the procedure from there. So that's what we shall do.
How's it going, friends? If you're just joining us here, welcome to Oshkosh 2025. The transition is currently Ripon, so we're starting everything at Ripon. Go direct Ripon and join the procedure from there. You do not have to fly the entire procedure from Green Lake and farther transitions.
Well, we did anyway, because we were coming in from that way.
Once you're up in Ripon, you're going to find an aircraft, preferably similar type aircraft only. Find someone to follow and follow them. Maintain half a mile intro spacing. That's 90 knots, 1,800 for the majority. If you are twin engine or faster, maintain 135 knots.
So we're going to bring it down to 1,800 feet, and now we got to bring it down to 105 on the gauge. He's saying 90 knots. It's 105 on the gauge because our airspeed's in miles per hour.
No extreme maneuvers, no side-by-sides, over-unders, S-turns to maintain spacing. If you don't get that perfect half a mile in trail spacing, if you're getting too close, you do need to make a left turn, go back to Ripon.
Right, and I'm going to go ahead and drop the gear here. We're going to need it to help us slow down. Let's go ahead and put the first option flaps in.
If you are a flight of 2 or more, please do let me know over Ripon. No earlier than that, I won't remember it. The ATIS is 25.9. If you haven't picked that up already, pick up the ATIS 25.9, 125.9. We are landing runway 27 and runway 36.
Okay, so there's 105. $1,800. Let's put a little bit of power back in it to keep the 105. Drifting up to 1900. Okay, so we've now passed Puckaway Lake, and this, the little shoe figure at the bottom is Green Lake, and then right past that is the town of Ripon,
Spacing looks good
where
for
we
now.
will join the railroad tracks.
That's half a mile in trail spacing. If you get too close, make sure you break off, go back, and try again.
Don't see anybody ahead.
A few other notes as we're coming in here. Do not read back instructions unless you need clarification. If I am busy, I won't answer questions. You'll need to refer back to the VATVenture 2025 notice. Be prepared to receive instructions within a mile to half a mile of Fisk. If you are Warbird or turbine arrivals, you're going to contact Milwaukee Approach for further information or refer back to the notice. Helicopters remain clear of Fisk and Ripon arrivals.
All right.
Aircraft should be operating in the southwest.
5 planes in front of us.
Oshkosh, remain at
I'm looking. I don't see anybody.
Please do ensure you have a VFR flight plan on file. It is a SIM limitation to include that aircraft type and color in the remarks section so I can find you easier. All aircraft should be squawking mode C and VFR code 1200. In regards to the runways that we're arriving on, 27 and 36, if you're assigned runway 27, you're going to follow the railroad track northbound, enter right down 27. Inside the gravel pit, you will not start that descent until tower calls your descent because we have
Let me get back down to 18. I'm drifting up here. We got to do a better job at the altitude control.
East-west road out of Fisk, and you're going to ensure you find that microwave tower. Keep it on your right side. As you're coming up over Ripon, half a mile intro spacing with the guy in front, guy behind. If you get too close, break off and try again. That's a left turn back to Ripon and try again. Do maintain 90 knots, 1800. If you're unable to do so, 135 knots and 2300 is okay as well. If you're a flight of 2 or more, let me know over Ripon. No earlier than that, I won't remember it. After Ripon, please do stay directly over the railroad track. It's going to make it easier for me to find you. Don't be on the left side of it. Don't be on the right side. That's the north and the south side. Directly over the railroad track, heading towards Fisk.
Okay, we're flying exactly at 060. Let's get the directional gyro lined up on it. Okay, we're doing okay coming back down to 1800.
I had a quick chat with the tower. They still have plenty of spaces available for parking on the ground, so we're excited to see everyone there. Welcome to Oshkosh 2025, VATVenture 2025. As a reminder, the transition is Ripon. Ripon transition, you don't need to use the transitions prior to that for now. Go to Ripon, set yourself up half a mile in
Okay,
front
let's
and half a
level
mile
off
behind,
at 18.
with similar aircraft
And then
types
let's
only.
see how this power setting does on the speed for us.
If that doesn't work out, you can't find a similar aircraft type, you're going to have to unfortunately break off. Hopefully you've had the feel for that, so break off, go back to Ripon, and you're going to try the procedure again. As another reminder, as you're coming up to Fisk here, I will be providing instructions for aircraft within a mile to half a mile from Fisk. If you hear a similar aircraft type on frequency, maybe a similar color or a similar aircraft type, and you are not a mile to half a mile from Fisk, it's obviously not for you. You're going to remain on the arrival. So listen out for that. Please do also ident as you are asked to rock your wings. It will help with sim limitations.
Okay. Seem to be good with spacing. I don't see anybody. So hopefully that means...
If you're having a hard time getting in and you have fuel issue, we have alternate airports available. That's Appleton, Alpha Tango Whiskey on the north side, and Fond du Lac, Foxtrot, Lima Delta on the south side.
From the north end of the lake, we're just a couple of miles from the town of Ripon.
It is 100% important that you maintain half a mile intro spacing. If you're not half a mile intro spacing after ripping, you need to break off. There's no shame in breaking off. You make a left turn, you go back to ripping, you try again.
Okay, we're drifting up on the
If you are a
altitude.
flight of 2 or more, please let me know over ripping or directly past ripping that you are a flight of 2, so I can keep that in mind.
Got 3 coming up behind me. Okay, well, it's their job to stay behind me at this point.
Do not read back instructions unless you need clarification. If I'm busy, I won't answer questions. You'll need to refer back to the notice, otherwise I'd be happy to. Sure you have a VFR flight plan on file, aircraft type, and color in the remarks. It's going to be a little bit easier for me to find you. And then squawk mode C and VFR code 1200 for all aircraft.
Alright, so here's, I think, the town right here. We're going to head toward that. Alright, altitude's drifting up. Let's get back down to 18. Okay, I do see somebody up ahead here. Uh-oh. Got a sim hang here. Come on. Don't freeze on me. Don't freeze on me. Oof. There we go.
Good, guys.
There we go.
Half a mile intro, please. I finally see an aircraft. I see maybe a Cessna about a mile southwest of Fisk. Kind of cool front-face Cessna there, rock your wings.
Just saw somebody kind of turn right up here.
Maybe a white Cessna, rock your wings. Do ensure you ident as well, please.
Alright, let me get down. I think I see the highway.
Cessna there, beautiful rock. Make a right turn over Fisk, follow that east-west road, eastbound.
Okay, 2
remain north
towers.
of the,
And then the
tower.
highway, and then the railroad tracks are just to the left of the highway.
Tower, and runway 36, monitor tower 126.6. It's a right turn.
Let's get back down to 1800.
I don't see an aircraft type, but an aircraft about a mile and a half. Maybe there's 2 aircraft there. The lower one a mile and a half southwest of Fisk, rock your wings.
Okay, we should see
Beautiful
a
rock. You're going to make a right turn.
highway and the
over,
railroad
so,
tracks and
eastbound
power line. The
runway
railroad
36.
tracks are kind of in the
All
middle.
that east-west road tower is 126.6.
So let's get back down to
The other
1800.
aircraft directly over Fisk looks a little higher, rock your wings.
Plane about to pass me below.
Beautiful, beautiful rock. You're going to follow, let's do the railroad northeastbound, follow that railroad, remain inside the gravel pit. I'm going to right down 127, monitor tower 118.5. Welcome to the show.
Okay, so there's the road. This looks like the railroad tracks here. Gotta go ahead and get up on the pedals.
As a reminder, as you're just joining us, we're starting everything at Ripon transition, so go direct to Ripon and join the procedure from there. After Ripon, please do stay on that railroad track directly on it, northeastbound towards Fisk. Find someone to follow and follow them, please. Similar type aircraft only.
Okay, now we're
Because
to.
you got to maintain half a mile intro spacing. If you can't do that, you're going to need to make a left turn, go back to Ripon, and just try.
Too low. And I appreciate you guys kind of giving me a heads up as to what's around, but I also want to do this based on only the information I have in the cockpit to some extent as well. So I appreciate the updates, but I am going to just go by what I see. Alright, we're at 1800.
90 knots, 1800. If you're unable to maintain 90 knots, 1800, that's mean sea level. Then you're going to maintain 135 knots, 2300 mean sea level. That being said, I do not want to see Cessna 172 and similar aircraft up higher, 2300. I want to see twins. Faster aircraft up higher, 2300, 135 knots. If you're a flight of 2 or more, let me know over Ripon, no earlier than that, please.
Okay, there's a little bit of a hitch.
Alrighty, I see another aircraft, maybe a Comanche. I see white, maybe... Can't make out the other color, but I see a white Comanche. Rocker wings, 1.5 miles southwest of Fisk, rocker wings.
I think that's me.
Beautiful. Which runway do you want, sir?
Take 27 if you're offering.
This time. I had 2 aircraft call over. It's only for the Comanche right over Fisk. Say again?
Comanche over Fisk. Can we try 27 this time?
27, sure. Follow that road northeast bound, so the railroad's northeast bound. Inside the gravel pit, make a right turn for 27. That's the right downwind.
That wasn't me then.
118.5.
I guess we got 2 Comanches back to back. If he got 2,
to maintain that separation.
if he got 27, we're probably getting 36.
No over unders, no side sips. Side by sides, nothing like that.
Okay, so this is
follow them.
this is
you can
Fisk.
break off if you need to. There's no shame in that. You go back to Ripon and try again.
We are getting a little bit of that haze back again. So now we're probably a mile from Fisk.
Alright, I see a high wing, about 1 mile southwest of Fisk, rocker wings. Can't make out the color, but there's a high wing. There we go, beautiful rock. Which runway do you want?
We'll take 27.
27, sure. Let's do, you're going to follow that railroad track northeast bound, enter right downwind for runway 27. Don't start your descent yet for 27 until the tower calls you for departures below, and tower is going to be 118.5. Welcome to the show. As a reminder, we are landing 27.
So I think this is what I'm looking at. I think is actually Pickett, not Fisk.
Northbound is going to follow after Fisk. Enter right down for 27 inside the gravel pit. Tower will call your descent for departures climbing to 1300 below you. If you're assigned 36 after Fisk, you're going to make a right turn to follow the east-west road. Keep the microwave tower on the right side. Alrighty, maybe a low wing, maybe a little bit of faster aircraft, 1/2 mile southwest of Fisk, rocker wings. Blue, I see blue.
That me?
Aircraft directly over Fisk, I don't see a rocker wings. Maybe a jet. Beautiful rock, you're going to make a right turn, make that right turn now, start that right turn now, you're right after Fisk, follow that east-west road, and tower is 126.6.
I guess that was me.
Coming up over Fisk, rocker wings. Looks like a low wing, black and white.
I keep it at 1800.
Beautiful wing rock, you're going to go run a 27, follow that railroad.
Is this our road? This doesn't look like it. Did I break off early? Did I break off early, guys? I think I might have broken off early. Or is this Fisk Avenue?
Blue VisJet, Oshkosh Tower, runway 36 left, purple dot, you're clear to land.
That was not me? Okay. Wow. Gosh. Alright, well, I'll head back then.
Visit to Echo Golf Papa Tower, you fill up.
I'll head back then. Let's go back to,
Side by side, no over-unders. Find someone else to follow and follow them. Similar aircraft type only. Try to maintain 1/2 mile in-trail spacing. If you get too close, turn left, go back to Ripon, and you're going to try again.
we are going to turn back to Ripon.
Maintain 90 knots, 1800. If you're unable to do so, maintain 135 knots, 2300. I want to see faster aircraft up there, maybe twins. If you're a flight of 2 or more, let me know over Ripon, no earlier than that. Very
This
important.
haze is coming right back at
You
us.
find another aircraft, maintain half a mile. No less than half a mile. If you're getting too close, you need to break off and turn back to Ripon and try again. As a reminder, we're landing 2736. If you are assigned 27, you're going to follow that railroad track and are right down for 27. You'll watch out for the gravel pit, stay inside of it. And tower will call your descent. If you are assigned 36, it's a pretty quick descent there. You're going to follow that east-west road out of Ripon, Fisk, and keep the microwave tower on your right side.
Alright, let's see if we can identify where we are, guys.
Follow VFR flight plan if you haven't already. For sim limitations, include the aircraft type and the color in the remarks section. All aircraft should be squawking mode C, VFR code 1200. Do not read back instructions unless you need clarification. Especially when I'm busy. If I'm busy, I won't answer questions. You'll need to refer back to the VATVenture 2025 notice. Do be prepared for instructions within half a mile to half a mile of Fisk. If it's for a similar aircraft type and you are not half a mile from Fisk, it's probably not for you. Don't follow those instructions. Alrighty, I see an aircraft approaching.
I thought for sure I was right on top of that.
The aircraft type, the sun's kind of in my eyes. Rock your wings for me.
Because he made that call, and I was like, was it for me? And he made the second call, and I did the rock that time.
Rock your wings for sim limitations. That makes it easier for me to find you. This is for all aircraft. Beautiful rock there. Let's do a right turn. So start that right turn now since you're directly over Fisk. Follow that east-west road eastbound. Stay north of the microwave tower and monitor tower 126.6. Have a good stay. As a reminder,
trying to kind of make my way back to Green Lake, because at least from there I'll know where I am.
Ripon and Fisk arrivals. Warbirds and turbines refer to the notice. You don't stay in the Fisk area. All other operations in the southwest corner of Oshkosh should remain at or above 3,000. Alrighty, the next aircraft there, I see. Can't really make out the aircraft type again. My eyes kind of suck. I see a little bit of white, maybe a little bit of black. Rocker wings. Okay, there we go. Beautiful, beautiful rock. Let's do a right turn to follow that east-west road eastbound. North of the microwave tower. Tower is going to be 26.6. Welcome.
And I'm just trying to, at this point, I'm just trying to get back into where I can see the lake.
Alrighty, that next aircraft, I did see two aircraft rock their wings. Sorry, I'm coordinating. There is an aircraft slightly behind. Those instructions were not for you. So turn back towards Fisk, fly northeastbound for the railroad track for runway 27. The aircraft directly behind, you're going to fly northbound, follow the railroad tracks, runway 27, enter right down for runway 27, monitor tower 118.5. Welcome to the show.
Alright, let's see if I can just pick up one of these roads and follow it back out to the lake here.
I just got word that call sign's 44949. November 449er, that's for you. Turn left, follow the railroad tracks northeastbound. Tower is going to be 26.6. If you can hear me, sir. Looking a little bit farther out, I do see a little bit of a jumble of aircraft coming in from Ripon. Someone's going to have to break off there. It is less than half a mile in trail unless you are a flight of 2 or greater, so let me know now. Half a mile in trail only, please. If you're too close, which it looks like it's the case, someone needs to turn back and try again.
Okay, so here we go. We can see the lake up ahead.
As a reminder, as I've noticed a few individuals, VFR flight plans should include the aircraft type and color in the remarks. At least the color at minimum. That's to help me find you.
Alright, so heading back toward the lake now.
I see that individual breaking off from that pack halfway
we
from
kind of
Ripon
split it off to
Thank
the
you.
right. Okay, so I think we're right here. And we're coming back into the top end of Green Lake now. Man, oh man. Alright, well, let's do another calibration of the gyro. 255. Looks like pretty much what we're reading, so good there. Let's get it back down to 1,800 feet, so we'll more easily see traffic at our level. Alright, let's see if we can. Right now, I don't see anybody. And it's nice and clear over Green Lake, which is nice.
Low wing, about a mile southwest of Fisk. Rock your wings. Beautiful rock. Which runway do you like? Alright, you can follow the railroad tracks northbound. You'll see the gravel pit. Remain inside of the gravel pit. Monitor tower 118.5. Welcome to the show.
Brad says the weather cleared, did the flight again, first time ever at Oshkosh. You guys have some fun events. This is one of the ones I really look forward to every single year. All right, I don't see any traffic. I mean, I don't know. The draw range is still kind of suspect, I think, in this sim, but I don't see any traffic coming up the lake right now. I'm gonna go ahead and give it a return and head back up towards Ripon and find those.
Low wing, about a mile southwest of Fisk. Rock your wings.
Find the railroad track.
Beautiful rock. Which runway do you like?
Let's do 27.
Alright, you can follow the railroad tracks northbound. Remain inside of the gravel pit. Monitor tower 118.5. Welcome to the show.
Alright, so turning it around. Back over to Ripon. So let's keep our eyes peeled. I don't see any traffic off to the left. Wish I had a plane to do this in real life. Yeah, I know, right? Okay, yeah, I think we wanted to come into the right of those two towers. Brad Life, I've never heard that one before.
Comanche over Fisk, Rocky Wings.
I've heard a lot of different, fun, clever quips about how much money it takes to fly an airplane or to own an airplane. But he says, you know what they say, if you want to be a millionaire, you need $1 billion and an airplane. I love it. I've heard a lot of good ones. That one was new on me though.
Low wing, about a mile southwest of Fisk, Rocky Wings. Got a good rock. You're going to go to 3-6. You can follow the east-west road. Keep the microwave tower off to your right. Monitor tower.
Okay, so there we are, 1800 leveling off. And the distance from Ripon to Fisk is 9 miles. At 1.5 miles per minute, that should take us, what is it, 6 minutes. Okay, it's a minute after 5 right now.
Hit another fast low wing about a mile southwest of Fisk, correct your wing. Beautiful rock, going to runway 27. Follow the railroad tracks to the north. Keep the gravel pit on your left. Monitor tower 1185. Welcome to the show.
Okay, I don't see anybody ahead. If there is traffic ahead, hopefully it's far enough ahead that we're not in conflict with them. Bring the power back slightly. 105 is what we're targeting in terms of miles per hour because that is 90 knots. Now we're heading back into that haze. Okay, so we're not at Fisk until at least 5 minutes from now. So if I start thinking he's calling me any sooner than that, I'm probably wrong. Back into that haze. Plenty of fuel still.
Got a low wing about a half mile southwest of Fisk, making out some orange. Rock your wings. Good rock, it'll be runway 27. You're going to follow the railroad tracks to the north, keep the gravel pit on your left, monitor the tower on 1185. Welcome to the show.
Okay, I think this is still the railroad tracks here. I'm too high. Back down to 1800. Okay, so here's a point where the highway breaks off to the right, but the railroad tracks keep going straight. Yeah, Lauren. Yeah, we've had some haze throughout the region. It's kind of come and gone all afternoon. All right, I think I'm following the right thing. Now I'm too low. Let's get back up to 1800.
Got a low wing making out from blue and red. Rock your wings.
Guess that's gonna be me.
Alright, got a good rock. You're gonna go runway 36. Follow the east-west road. Keep the keep the microwave tower to your right. Monitor tower 1266. Welcome to the show.
All right, 26.6, and we are doing 3.6, so we are gonna break off and take the eastbound road. I don't see the eastbound road.
And for everyone coming to Oshkosh 2025, welcome to the show. We're not using any transitions apart from ribbon, so you can go direct to ribbon and then join the railroad tracks northeastbound. Runway 36, you'll expect to join the east-west road. Keep the microwave tower off to your right. And for runway 27, you'll see the gravel pit. Keep that to your left. And for anyone on the railroad tracks to Fisk, keep it straight in front of you. If you see it at your left or you see it at your right, you're not in the right place.
Is this the road? And 26.6. The railroad's hard to follow in the Sims, says Dr. Monocle. Yeah. Okay, I think this is the road I'm supposed to be following down here. I'm way low.
American Colors low wing, Oshkosh Tower, runway 26 left, purple dot, cleared to land.
Okay, 26 left, purple dot. That's us. Oh man, okay. I'm coming right at the airport. Definitely followed the wrong thing. But man, this haze is making it really difficult this year. It's a little late. Get some predictions in, guys, but if you want to throw some numbers into the chat. We're going to be long for the purple dot.
Red, white, and blue, Piper, left turn into the grass approved. Enjoy the show.
Oh well, we were long for the purple dot, but not the best. Not the best at all. Altitude all over the place coming in. Had trouble seeing the right thing we were supposed to follow. Never saw Fisk Avenue. Man, that was a tough one, guys. Not my best work. But it's done. Brad said it had me sweating too. Might have been biting off a little more than you could chew with the King Air. we made it though.
Zulu 0 Echo Golf Papa, turn center or right base for runway 36 right.
We made it.
Center right base for runway 36 right and 0 Echo Golf Papa.
Yeah, Sergey said the same thing. I approached left to the airport like many others. Yeah, this haze is really making it a challenge this year. I wonder, I wonder how the guys in the real life are doing with that. Whew. Anyway, all right, let's get a let's get the plane shut down, and then we'll figure out who won our prediction, and call it a day here, friends. Always a good stream, good job nonetheless. Yeah, like I said, it was it was a little too challenging with the difficulty seeing the visual cues. But yeah, not too bad. I always enjoy this event regardless, and of course the controllers do an outstanding job. So, all right, let's see. What do we want to do? First of all, we want to we want to get our avionics all off, so we'll turn off our radios. The avionics. Go ahead and pull the throttle and the mix. Magnetos. Fuel valves. Control lock. Envious is at the follow button. It says thanks for flying in Oshkosh. Well, you guys, I don't know if you're one of the controllers here, Envious, but now we always, we'd never miss this event. I would call in sick to work for this event. Just sucks that I had so much trouble seeing where we were going. All right, let's go ahead and get the plane tied down. Nothing to inspect here. We're literally just left light and battery on. Just get it tied in. Wheel chocks. And don't worry, I know I owe you the, oh, you're controlling Fond du Lac? Yeah, cool deal, man. Don't worry, we'll get the winner of the prediction sorted out here in just a moment. Alright. Nope. And of course, from outside the plane, we would close and latch the door. I didn't do too bad a job with the parking alignment. You zoom out enough, it's kind of hard to tell which one I am. Alright, let's see who our prediction winner was. Apologies that I called for those numbers very, very hard at the last minute. Oh, we had an 8-knot crosswind too, and that's fun. 136 was what registered when we finally settled in. Came in steep and fast, and landed way long for the purple dot, but made it down okay. 136 is what finally registered. So 118, 98, 88, 137 from Bed Dave. We got it one away, so there you go. Bed Dave's our big winner. Oh, I got to get out my new set of raffle tickets. Bed Dave or oh no, yeah, they're around here somewhere. Bed Dave, I'll make sure I get that written out for you. But congrats to you for the entry into the. Oh no, this is a new set because we did just do the drawing after we got back from Flight Sim Expo. So Dave, you'll be the first entry in our landing rate raffle, which will pull toward the end of August. So congrats on that entry. And yeah, those of you new to the channel, we have 2 raffles that we do on this channel. The Alphabets Points raffle is the one that you enter with the Twitch channel points, aka the Alphabets Points. They're at the bottom of the chat panel. The button next to that Alphabet cereal icon tells you how many of those you have. You click on that button, it'll give you options to cash in 2,000 for 1, 10,000 for 6. So you do get 6 for the price of 5 if you save up and do 10,000 all at once. And we pull the drawings, pull the winners for those drawings toward the end of the odd-numbered months. Landing rate raffle, well, that's how you just saw how you get in on that one. That is the closest predictor to our vertical descent rate at the moment the wheels touch runway surface each time we perform a landing on the stream. And so Bed Dave is the one who gets that one. We'll pull the winner of that contest toward the end of the even-numbered months. Anytime we pull the raffle winner, where's my prize vault list? There we are. The winner gets their choice of any prize on the Slant Alpha prize vault list, which includes our t-shirt, ball cap, mouse pad, coffee mug, or tote bag, which I will ship to you at my own expense wherever you happen to be in the world. Or if you would rather have an electronic gift card to either Amazon or Xplane.org store or Sim Market, then those are your other choices as well. Normal show schedule is Tuesday and Friday, 7 p.m. at U.S. Eastern Time, 2300 Zulu time here during the summer months. Back with you on Tuesday. We're going to be doing some regional airliner ops in that BAE 146. We're going to do a Charlotte to Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and then back to Charlotte. An American Eagle trip in the real world, but we're going to do it in that BAE 146 just for funsies. And the New York ARTCC on VATSIM is hosting a Tuesdays in New York event where they are featuring Scranton Wilkes-Barre Airport. So we should have a good amount of traffic in and out of there as we fly from Charlotte and then back again, just as they do in the real world. But just unlike what they do in the real world, we'll be doing it in that 4-engine, the baby jumbo as they call it, the BAE 146 regional jet, high-wing regional jet. Fun little plane. Just Flight is the developer of that fantastic product. Then we are on Thursday rather than Friday, because on Thursday the Washington ARTCC is hosting an event which we're calling a Night on the Chesapeake. We're featuring, we're going to staff up a lot of our minor airports up and down the Chesapeake Bay region here in the Mid-Atlantic. So I will most likely be working an approach position over the Chesapeake sector of Potomac Approach, but not a given. And we'll end up wherever we are, and we'll be letting you know that's going to be kind of a game time decision as to where we end up, but we'll let you know as it gets closer. But that'll be Thursday stream on the scopes somewhere, providing some air traffic control services on VATSIM, and then we'll be off on Friday since we're going to be on Thursday. But the full show schedule is down there underneath the About tab, or it's over on our Discord server, and the Discord server link's on the lower right-hand side of your screen. On the lower left-hand side of your screen, you see our YouTube channel link. That's where you can go to see where many of our old flight broadcasts are archived, including all of our VATVenture flights. But better than that, we've got a playlist over there called VATSIM Tutorials. So if you are looking to get onto the VATSIM network and participate in some of these awesome events, but you're just not sure what to say to controllers, how to put a route together, how to choose an appropriate call sign, how to put all the equipment codes into your flight plan, you can check out that playlist there, and you got some good nudges in the right direction for that, hopefully. And if you have questions about any of that stuff, you can leave those questions right there in the comments on those, or once again find us over on our Discord channel, as I just mentioned. All right, I think that'll wrap us up. Who are we going to get the raid over to here? Who's still up and running? I'll tell you what. Mr. Sim Caesar looks like he's doing a group fly-along. So we'll go ahead and get the raid over to him. Alright, so tell our very good friend Sim Caesar that Slant Alpha sends his love. And enjoy his stream. He's one to enjoy, and I know that you will. He's doing some general aviation type flying. It looks like he's in a 172 or something similar to it. So we'll get you over to him, and then we'll see you back here on Tuesday. Friends, have a great rest of your weekend, the tiny little bit that's left of it. Great start to your coming week, and then we will see you Tuesday night from Charlotte, North Carolina in the Just Flight BAE 146. And until then, guys, be happy, healthy, and safe in all your travels and adventures.